Hi guys, I just want to start out by thanking you so much for your patience since the last video. I had a very difficult journey that I had to go through in the last 6 days or so. And all I can say is that I am never flying again. In the meantime, a lot has happened with lore, just lore galore. And it's a lot for me to keep caught up on, but this is what I'm going to tell you now. In some ways, I believe I am going to have to concede the theory fight when it comes to whether or not Clancy dies or becomes a bishop or both. But the thing is, it's just more complicated than that. This is a concept that is very hard to convey. I'm going to do my best. If I've lost you, please just let me know in the comments and I will try to elaborate and explain further what I'm about to talk about. So the thing is, we've been seeing a lot of evidence that it does appear to be the case that Clancy is rejecting the Bandito way and is becoming either an ally of the bishops or one of the bishops. However, I have more to say about that. What we see in the concert, I'm going to link a video to Dima. She explains things really well and has a lot of insight into this concert. But in the last concert of the Clancy tour, Tyler / Clancy refuses to wear his Bandito jacket and walks away from Josh, the torchbearer, and leaving him alone. We know that he ends up in the tower on Paladin Strait and is confronted by all of the bishops, including Nico, who seemed to be in charge and winning by the end of that music video. But the thing is, I'm gonna say this for the millionth time, Clancy is a Christ figure. Something I didn't talk about when it comes to Christ figures, because it's not usually highlighted as much as other parts of the Christ figure journey that each of those characters follow. In the Bible, it says that at the crucifixion, when Jesus sacrifices himself for the whole world's well-being, Jesus became sin himself. He took on all sin before, during, and after his crucifixion. And by dying, it was like that sin was destroyed and killed. And then he resurrected, and there was a new beginning. So if we look at it that way, with Clancy being the Christ figure and Nico and the Niners being representations of sin, if Clancy were to become a bishop, or better yet, if Clancy were to become the only bishop, taking on all 9 of them, it would be just like taking on all sin. And so if he does that, and then he dies, maybe he dies as a result of doing it, that saves everyone from the bishops. There's no coming back for them. It's almost like the Horcruxes in Harry Potter, but I won't get into that. In any case, it is possible for not only Clancy being a Christ figure and living, but also for him to become a bishop or a conglomeration of the bishops like Blurryface before dying. And the reason that works out is because the resurrection has to be included in the Christ figure, or it's just not the right path of mythology, or whatever you want to call it. The resurrection was necessary for the Christ in the original story to complete the win, the victory over sin. He couldn't just die, because that would, in a way, be sin winning. He had to come back. And I think it is very likely that we are going to see some things that I did not anticipate. And I do think that we are still continuing down that path. Storytelling, there's the hero's journey. There's lots of different formulas that writers will use. And the more I see, the more I feel that Tyler created this story because he wanted there to be a Christ figure, because that story inspired him from the very beginning. Even if he isn't Christian now, he was, and he's sticking to his guns. And it's going to be an amazing thing to see what happens next. I do think that the next album might be really difficult to listen to in a lot of ways. It will be perhaps a world where Clancy doesn't exist. If you remember, Tyler described Dima when he was talking to an interviewer as a world he created with the idea in mind that it was a world where God didn't exist. So if we lose Clancy, who is hope and who is the Christ figure, that's going to leave people in darkness for a while. But it doesn't have to be permanent. If it was, then this entire thing would not even close to be worth it. The whole point is breaking the cycle of mental illness or addiction or both, whatever it does to you. We can't just keep going back to the same beginning over and over again and being pulled right back over and over again. It's time for a final victory. And I believe that our next album is going to show us that. Thank you for watching. This was entirely ad-libbed. I hope it didn't seem so. And again, please, if you have questions, ask them. Bye!